Hey everybody, it's Dr. Carmen Bryan, and this is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? You doing all right? All right, let's do this. Most of us understand that a narcissist does not allow you to have emotions. What does that mean? Of course you have natural emotions. Of course there are times that you get angry, you're happy, you're sad, you may be a little anxious. Those are all natural parts of being a human being. That's a part of having a soul. That's what grounds you to being a part of humanity. Is the emotions that you have, the feelings that you have, the thought processes, But a narcissist does not allow you to have regular emotions. And they're the ones that will take you on an emotional roller coaster. For example, seems like when you're with them, you're always anxious and you're always angry and you're always frustrated. Now they're, like most people say, but the good times were good times and the bad times just happened to be the bad times. When the good times came around, it was really good. Can't forget about the bad times. The bad times is what's unaliving you from the inside out. Put it that way. It's unaliving you from the inside out. It's destroying you from the inside out. That's what you have to remember. But anytime a narcissist does things, and it's normal to become offended. You get offended. People get angry. Those are normal emotions. You get angry. You're disappointed at someone. Well, they don't allow you to do that. You know why? Because it puts the responsibility in their lap. Because they want to have control over your emotions. They want to have control and they want to be responsible. If I make you happy, if I make you sad, I can make you happy again. They want to become your personal God. That's what they want to be. That's what they want to do in your life. And so if you become angry, frustrated, you don't want to talk, I don't want everything to say to you right now, that is a very, very specific, not specific point of contact. Point of contact meaning that thing right there offended me. That thing right there that you did, that right there made me angry and I'm angry. And remember, a narcissist has a hard time with rejection or abandonment or at any time that anybody makes them feel as if they're less than the character that they have created. So for you to become angry at them about something really puts responsibility back in their lap. It forces them to be accountable. But a narcissist will never be accountable for the role they play in your life or the role they play in their own demise or the role that they play in other people's pain and hurt or heartache or anything like that. So I got excited, so I'm just lost for words, but let me get my words back. You already know that they're not going to allow you to just be angry. For some of you, let me just be angry. Let me process. They're not going to allow you to process because if you process too long, it could pull you away from them. And they need that control and the fear that you're going to reject them. A narcissist fears rejection. And so they fear that you're going to reject them. So you already know that the whole situation is going to turn back around to be your fault. Not the fact that they did something wrong. It always turns back around to be your fault. So by the time you are done having a conversation, which is manipulation and wordplay and word salad and all that stuff that goes together, you end up apologizing for something that was not even your fault. And then you walk away even angrier and frustrated and offended because, wait a minute. Now, I know when I got into this conversation, I know what I was going to say. And I know this is the fact. I know this is what happened. And I'm offended and I'm hurt by what has happened. But somehow or another, it always gets turned back around and it happens to be your fault. If you weren't like this, I wouldn't have cheated if you wouldn't pressure me like this. I wouldn't have cheated had you not pushed me into a relationship so quickly. I would not have cheated had you combed your hair. I would not have cheated I wouldn't have put my hands on you had you not made me angry. Sometimes you make me so angry and I just love you so much that sometimes you just make me so angry that I don't know what to do and I end up hitting you. And I don't mean to do it, but it's you push me there. And some of y'all have heard that. And I know some people are embarrassed to admit to the fact you've heard that before. I love you so much that you make me so angry that sometimes I don't know what to do. And so I end up lashing out and hitting you. And that's not what I mean to do. And then they come up with all sorts of justifications. You know that I went through this in childhood. You know that this is what has happened. I'm still learning. And guess what you do? And I hear it so many times, y'all. I hear it so many times. And some of you that are coaches, some of you that are therapists in the helping professions, you know, and as DV advocates, you know, you've heard this over and over and over again. Well, they begin to justify the abuser's behavior. So they're justifying, so you begin to justify because you're compassionate and you care for this person. I know sometimes I run my mouth too much. I know sometimes I can be harsh and hard and judgmental. I know. And you know, I know that he or she has been through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I know I triggered him or her. I know. And so if I wouldn't have done that, you know, I have to admit to the role that I play. I don't care how angry you get. You don't have the right to put your hand on anybody. You don't have the right to hurt somebody. Two wrongs don't make a right. And I know some of you, because I've read comments, I've talked to people, it feels good to get back at them. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't ever lower yourself to another person's level. Just because they've done something, it's not the fact that you get angry. Because anger is a human emotion, is what you do in the midst of your anger. And a lot of you, because you have been slighted, you know, they have done things that are so offensive. They have done things to really break your heart. And the only thing that you're thinking about is revenge. When you start thinking about revenge, you're stooping down to their level. And I've heard some people say, well, that's just what I'm going to have to do to make me feel better. But you know what? I hate to say this, and, you know, if the shoe fits, wear it, but you're just as ignorant as they are then. You're no better than they are. When you stoop to their level to get back at them, you have lowered your standards. You have lowered yourself. And you don't ever let anybody change your character. There are times where you have to know when to be quiet. Didn't Kenny Rogers say you have to know when to hold them? You have to know when to fold them. You have to know when to walk away. You have to know when to run. Even the gambler knew, you know, in gambling, you know, when your limitations, every fight is not your fight. Every battle is not meant for you to be in. Every time they say something, you don't have to have the last word. Every time they say something, you don't have to argue back. That's the power that you possess. You have the power of choice. They run off of impulse. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, I know this sounds so inhumane, it sounds so unethical, it sounds so cruel, it sounds so mean, but animals operate off of instinct. They do things off of instinct. A narcissist, if you watch them, they have very animalistic behaviors if you pay attention to them. And they run off of impulse. They run off of impulse. They do things impulsively. Then they turn around and justify what they've done. They lack temperance. See, you have the opportunity to build up your temperance, which is self-control. You have the opportunity to build temperance, self-control. And that takes time and energy. When you have operated off of a knee-jerk reaction and you have reacted so much, especially with a narcissist, they hit you, you hit them back. You know, that's a reflex. You know, now you're reacting. And so you're having to retrain yourself. You know how, now I don't even know how I got down here. We were talking about emotions, but you have to retrain yourself. And retraining yourself takes time and energy to train yourself to respond versus react. Whenever they send you text messages or voicemails, you know, you don't respond, you don't react right away. You don't give them an answer right away. Give yourself 24 to 48 hours. And if you have to take 72 hours to respond, take 72 hours to get it all out of your system. Because you got a lot to say. You know, us women, we got a lot to say. I got a lot to say. And furthermore, you know, get that all out of your system. You watch those little things on Facebook or on YouTube where a person sends a text message and then the person starts texting back, and you can almost see the little hand, and they say all this stuff, and then they delete, and they're like, okay, you know, thumbs up. You know, that's what you have to learn to do. A narcissist lives off of your reaction. That is the fuel. And the video started off as they don't allow you to feel. They don't allow you to feel. That's why most people that come out of these situationships, you're angry all the time, but really what it is you're depressed, you're sad, and you're offended. You're triggered all the time, but you're triggered because you feel like someone shut your voice down. You feel rejected again. No one is listening to you because you feel like when you were a child, no one was listening to you, or you were irrelevant. So now as an adult, you're not heard. You know, and a narcissist plays on that. But you're not allowed to feel emotions because your emotions make them feel uncomfortable. So if you make me feel uncomfortable, you need to adjust your emotions, and your emotions are real. You have the right to be angry. Just as what you do in your anger. And you don't stoop to their level. You're better than that. You're bigger than that. That doesn't make you arrogant. You're better than that, and you're bigger than that.